Hey, what it do is Chef Joy here with some kitchen talk, and today I'm gonna go ahead and cook some rice. Before I go ahead and get a little demo, I just want to go over some of the basics of cooking rice. Um, when you're cooking rice, you want to have basically like a 1 to 1.5, 2 ratio. It all depends. Some people say like 1 to 1. I don't think that's enough. Rice, sucks up a lot of water. One basic thing to do, so you always, kind of have an idea that you have a nice amount of rice, is to use the finger method. Take your index finger and put it down in there to like the little first indent on your finger, and you want your water to be at that level, and that's like above the rice. So don't dig all the way to the bottom of the pot. Just right where the rice is, make sure you got like that much water, and you should be able to cook your rice perfectly. And that's for like stove top, rice cooking. Also too, is good for rice cooking. Rice cooker will pretty much tell you about the same thing. You may need a little bit more rice, a little bit less rice, depending on the type of rice you're using. Today, I'm about to use white rice. Okay, so I got a cup of white jasmine rice, because I'm a little bougie. I don't want just white rice. I want it a little fancy, Thai. Jasmine. And like I say, I'm going to do 1.5 ratio. See if that's enough water, hopefully. So that's roughly about 1.5 cups. Go ahead and even it out a little bit. Put my finger right on top of the rice. It's a little low, so I'll add a little bit more water. There you go. Go ahead and turn on your stove. I usually start off on high, let it get started, bring everything kind of to a simmer, and then bring it down real low as soon as it starts to come up the temp. As soon as I get my rice on, turn the heat on and everything, I like to add my little aromatics. I like to be a little fancy, Go ahead and add some bay leaf. Go ahead and add some thyme. Of course, you gotta add a little bit of salt. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of that little bougie butter I got. Go ahead and put the lid on top. And like I say, I'm gonna stay here and watch it for a little minute because I have it on high right now. I just want to bring it up to a nice temp so it can cook at a nice simmer. So as soon as it gets hot and it starts to boil slightly, I'm gonna drop the burner down to 2. So right now you can see it's at high. So I'll drop it down like right in between like 2 and low, and then let it ride for like 10-15 minutes. As we can see, a lot of steam is starting to come out. Got steam coming out the little blowhole on the lid of the pan. So you're gonna go ahead and turn it down from high to simmer. I should have did that a little bit earlier so that wouldn't happen. But we good though. Luckily I don't have too much water and too much rice in there, so I have enough room to cook and don't overflow. Always remember your rice is gonna double, so if you think like, oh, that's not enough rice, trust me, it's probably enough rice. So we're gonna let this go ahead and ride out for like I'm gonna check it in like 10 minutes and see where I'm at. See if I need to cook it a little bit longer or not. It's about 5 minutes later. I decided to check it and kind of look a little dry, and it is a little dry. So I'm gonna put a little bit more water in there, not too much, because the rice still hard too. So So now I believe it's done. Let's go ahead and try it. Well, yeah, it looks done. Well, yeah, it's cooked. There we go. So that was one way to cook rice. As you see, that was a stovetop method. Also, you know, you can invest in a rice cooker, which makes rice cooking a whole lot easier. You know, you can just set it and forget it. Um, if you have your rice and it's a little undercooked, just add a little bit more water. Make sure you turn your burner off and just let it sit for maybe like another 5 minutes. And as far as the timing went for cooking that, it was about like 15, 16 minutes. I didn't really time it. I just came back and checked on it a few times. You want to keep your eye on your rice while it's cooking. Other ways you cook rice, you know, you follow the same ratio. Do it in the oven, like around I'll probably do like around 325. But I don't really like doing that unless it's like one of the combi ovens. Them ovens are amazing. I love those ovens. The basics on, you know, cooking some white rice. You can always add anything else in there for flavorants. You get lemongrass, some cardamom, rosemary. As you saw, I put bay leaf and thyme. You know, salt, butter, whatever you want, man. I mean, it's rice. Whatever you like in your rice. Well, that's how you cook basic white rice, and hopefully you go ahead and replicate that. You know, it wasn't too hard. As I say, it's just a basic 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2. Do the fingertip method. Make sure you got that little gap, extra water in there. You know, check it. See how far along you are. See if you need to, you know, make sure the temperature isn't too high. As for one, see if you need to add more water. You know, see if it's gonna cook a little bit longer. Like I say, like that's a full pot of rice from just 1 cup of rice. So, you know, it yields a lot. So be careful when you're cooking it. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully, you know, this helps. You know, next time you cooking rice, just remember the ratio is simple: 1.5, 1 to 2. Actually, 1 to 2 is a pretty decent ratio because you always seem to need a little bit more water. So yeah, just make sure you start off high, go down to simmer once your water start to boil, and you know, just come back, check in like 5-10 minutes. Make sure you're cooking right along and good to go. So hopefully this helps. Thank you.